Man, after a long day, let me crack down some fighting games, you know what I mean? We have plenty of fighting games that are really good. Maybe it's time to play some of them, you know? Fighting games like Tekken 8, Street Fighter 6, Marvel Infinite. Oh, I love these games. Let's play a little bit. Dude, I legit lost because he just heat engaged, heat bursted, and I'm dead. Bro, back in those glorious old time, we had Tekken 7. That button would be minus 14, and he would have lost. I could have punished. Bro, Tekken 7 is so much better, man. It's a much better game than Tekken 8. I don't understand why people like this game, to be very honest. This game is so scrubby. I don't understand. If you compare those two, Tekken 7 is just much better. Alright, you know what? Let me scrap this. This game sucks. Let me go for Marvel Infinite. You know, the newest Marvel game. I think that game will be pretty nice, right? So let me just boot up the game and see how good that game is, right? Let's see how MVCI is, right? Cannot be that bad. Wait, it has no loops? It has no infinites? It has no tag combos? Where's my assist, though? Why are only 2 guys on the screen? Where's my third? Wait, where's Doom? Where's McNash? No crouch LK? Bro, this game sucks. Bro, all these fighting games lately have been so so trash. It's nothing compared to those good ass games way back, man. Dude, MVC 2, UMVC 3, ain't nothing beating that. These games are trash. Or is it actually smart to compare these games? Because they're literally called MVCI and MVC3. Let's talk about comparing. Maybe it's good to talk about this. I think we all have been in this place or in this spot where we have one game we really liked or just enjoyed, and then the new version comes out or a different iteration of it, and you're just disappointed because you compare the two. So, is comparing something you should do most of the times? If I'm being honest, I think comparing is something that can be good or bad. It's not something that is either just good or just bad, because it can also work the other way around, where you maybe played Street Fighter 5 and you disliked the game. And then Street Fighter 6 happened, and now you have a really good comparison to say that Street Fighter 6 is a pretty darn good game, right? But most of the times it is the other way around, where, you know, the newer game, most of the times they include new mechanics, new balancing, frame data, moves, and that sometimes can be the deciding factor if you like the game or not. Maybe it is too different. Maybe the direction they're taking is something you dislike. The best example I can give you right now, for me at least personally, is Tekken 8. Maybe you guys already knew, maybe you didn't, but Tekken 7 to me was a game that had, sure, it was not flawless, by far not. The game was not flawless. Some people would live in a fantasy where they think it's flawless, but it's not. But I do understand and respect the game a bit more compared to Tekken 8. So now the final question here is, what should you do if you compare a game with X or Y, right? So the example here again will be Tekken 7 to Tekken 8. Because a lot of people would compare those two games and start to disrespect what Tekken 8 is all about. But here's the thing, this is also on you to either respect what the game has to offer and what kind of direction it's taking, or you would just back out and be honest with yourself. You know what, they tried a new direction because it's a new game, right? Tekken 7, Tekken 8, it's a new game. This is just not for me. And you know what, that is completely fine. If this is not a game for you, understand it's not for you. There's no reason to just really bash the game for what it is. I'm just not saying that the game is good for me, at least, but that's what I mean. Just back out and, you know, make the comparison for yourself. And to me, it's not worth playing it right now. So that's what I mean with comparing. What do you do with it? And with that in mind, I like to talk about something that, you know, I already talked about a bit. Respecting and accepting what the game has to offer. So it is taking a new direction. Maybe it is also to try and target a different audience. Again, you are free to disagree if you accept or respect the decisions they're making. That's all good. But accepting and understanding what the game has to offer is something people just don't do. It feels like it's almost impossible to find a person that just said, you know what, I accept the game for being so hyper aggressive and, you know, heat mechanics that are just focused on holding forward and getting in actions and all that. You know what? That's not for me. So that's it. But that's fine, right? Accepting what the game has to offer, accepting what the game is all about, and do what you want from there. You want to try and feel it out and accept what the game is and just try to, you know, adapt around the game and the mechanics. That is completely fine. You can do that. No one is stopping you. But no one is also stopping you to say that, you know, you tried it and it's just not fun for you. That is exactly where I am at right now. I tried the game multiple times, long enough in my opinion, and every single time I boot it, things happen in the game where I just personally can't really feel or see the satisfaction behind it, and I just backed out. So understand and accept the game for what it is. Please try and apply that with, you know, you comparing it to a different game. Something that also happens a lot is that people keep roasting the game if they don't like the game. But I think roasting the game is something you should also stop doing, because, hey, Tekken 8, listen, I am not the biggest fan of Tekken 8, but I definitely have to say credit where it's due. They did some really cool things in Tekken 8. As an example, Jack. I was never really interested in Jack till Tekken 8 happened, because they made Jack's concept and his design and the way he fights and plays extremely cool in my opinion. I know some people might disagree here. I even know a couple of people that prefer T7 Jack, which is completely fine, but my point still stands. If you don't accept or understand and feel the game for what it is not needed to roast the game and completely hate the game, because I've seen a lot of people, you know, post things where they say like, dude, if you like Tekken 8, oh, you're just brain dead or retarded. And I'm like, no, dude, if some people love that game, that's cool. That's just what they like, and that's completely fine. It is completely fine if they didn't like Tekken 7 and Tekken 8. It makes sense, because they're not the same. They're not the same. This is why comparing, it can be important. However, the things which you do with the information and the comparison, keep it civil, keep it for yourself, and try and understand what the other game has to offer. I keep saying this because people still don't understand that point. Tekken 8 is all about aggression, holding forward, and the games and the mechanic literally shove that in your face. So if you don't like that, you will never understand and respect that game. But that's fine. Not every game is for everyone. And that's something people also should start realizing. Even if it's called Tekken, because it is a Tekken game. And Tekken 7 is, you know, people love Tekken 7 because it's more passive and poking frame data. I understand. But you also understand that Tekken 8 is nothing alike. So in that regard, stop comparing those two with each other. You see what I mean? Comparing can be something good, because you have an insight of what a game can be and what it is, or what it was. But you should stop comparing it in a sense that, oh, but Tekken 7 was more defensive, so Tekken 8 sucks. It may suck for you, but plenty of other people love Tekken 8 more, because it's more interactive. You have more flashy combos. The combo structure is cool. The way some characters get guaranteed buttons after getting something in counter looks really cool. Heat looks cool. Like, there are a lot of cool things about Tekken 8, but it might not be for you. And that's completely fine. And with that said, thank you guys so much for listening to this. It was something that has been lingering a lot in my mind lately. You know, people comparing a lot and using comparison as a cornerstone of, is the game good because the previous game was this and this game is now this. So I just want to let you guys know, I want to ask you something. If comparing, what is a justified method or way of comparing, and what you do with a comparison? Yeah, what you actually do if you compare. Like, do you take it in account, like, oh yeah, Tekken 7 was this, so I will never enjoy Tekken 8 because it's more offensive? Or is it more like, oh, T7 is more defensive, T8 is more offensive, I will just try both options, or I will just try the new game and see how I like it, because that's also something you can do. So yeah, thank you guys so much for listening to this. This is a very different kind of format, but I really like to talk about these kind of topics, especially about fighting games, but also games in general. So if you guys have any questions, anything related to the, to fighting games or games, just let me know. I would love to cover it. I would love to talk about it. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Take care.